Welcome to Middle Class Matters. Today, 23rd June 2023, Business News in English from Dr. CMA Allegation. Let's see the CAG report on derailment in Indian Railways. Part number 14. 6.3.3 Delay in completion of road over bridge or road under bridge. Audit noted that 86 works of construction of ROB or RUB in levy of level crossings, the works were not completed. Within bracket, on 15 out of 25 selected divisions on 11 zones, even though a period of more than 3 years had lapsed after the sanction or commencement of the work. The main reason cited for delay in completion of the work was delay in finalization of drawings or delay in general arrangement, drawing plans, and delay in preparation and sanction of delayed estimates, ER and WR, issues related to land acquisition, encroachment, obstructions, and feasibility issues, delay by state government in completion of their portion of work, SR and SCR, consent or no objection certificate awaited, NCR, SR, SWR, and non-finalization of cost-sharing issues, ER and NCR. The reply is not acceptable. The reasons quoted, delay in finalization of drawings or delay in general arrangement, drawing, delay in preparation and sanction of delayed estimates were of avoidable nature and could have been avoided by proper planning by railway administration. Thus, stringent efforts were required to complete works for early elimination of level crossings. 6.4 Accidents involving animals. The Ministry of Railways circulated June 2015 the recommendations of World Wildlife Fund India WWF to stop elephant death on railway tracks to 6 zones. The detailed recommendations of suggestive measures in respect of prevention of death of elephants in forest passages on Indian Railways had already been highlighted in the audit report number 5 of 2021 Railways. The status of animal death on zones during the review period was examined in audit. The total cases of animal deaths during 2017-18 to 2021 is given below. In all the total zones, 73 elephants have died and 63,345 other animals have died. Audit noted that to prevent train accidents involving elephants, general advisories approved by Ministry of Environment and Forest and Ministry of Railways had been jointly issued to Railways in 2010. The advisories include clearance of vegetation on the sides of railway track, underpasses, overpasses, across the railway track to allow elephants to escape. Signage boards to pre-ward the train drivers, sensitizing programs for train drivers, guards and station masters, engagement of elephant trackers, and to keep railway track free from food waste that attracts elephants. Joint inspections were conducted in 102 sections across 18 divisions on 9 zones by officials of Audit Department and Engineering Department of zones to verify the status of implementation of measures in identified reserve forest passages of the zones. The implementation measures to curb animal deaths on Indian Railways is given below. It can be seen that important precautionary measures related to provision of signage boards, construction of underpasses, provision of fencing, and deputation of forest staff in divisional offices had not been implemented in many sections. Even after a lapse of more than 10 years period from the issue of joint general advisories by the Ministry of Environment and Forest and Ministry of Railways. 6.4.1 Safety of Asiatic lions in GIR forest. On Western Railway, forest passages exist in the GIR forest in the Bhavanagar divisions, and these forests are the abode of Asiatic lions. It was observed that there were 2 accidents involving run over of 4 lions as per details. For safety of Asiatic lions in railway premises from accidents with trains, a standard operating procedure SOP was signed between officers of Bhavanagar Division of Western Railway and Forest Department in December 2014. The precautions to be observed by the staff of railways as well as Forest Department were laid down in the SOP. As per the SOP and the minutes of the coordination meeting, following precautions were required to be taken. 1. Speed restriction was to be imposed in identified sections where line movement was frequent. 2. Clearance of vegetation along track was to be ensured so that train pilots could see the movement of lions. 3. Signage boards were required to be erected at identified locations along the railway track. 4. Forest Department was to coordinate with senior DOM for training of staff and review to be done on 6 monthly basis jointly by AAOM or PRCL and forest officials of Amereli. A joint inspection on motor trolley was conducted November 2021 by the officers of Audit Department and Engineering Department from Pipavav to Rajala Junction. During the joint inspection, it was noticed that the above instructions contained in the SOP were not complied to. Further, the following lapses on the part of Forest Department were communicated during the coordinating meeting on 2nd January 2019 with Railways. 1. Forest Department had not provided details of locations and contents of the signage boards to be erected in the railway premises. 2. Details of sites for establishment of temporary watchtowers, machins, were not furnished by the Forest Department. 3. No initiative had been taken by the Forest Department to identify suitable devices such as CCTVs or early warning systems, etc. for testing on the sites. 4. It was suggested by DRM, Bhavanagar Division, that joint site inspection by officials of Railways, Forest and Gujarat Info Petro Limited to understand the area and scope for kind of technology for consultancy service that can be adapted to prevent death of lions. However, no such joint inspection had been conducted as on November 2021. 5. Forest Department had not sent the required proposal for the fencing as done along the Pipavav to Rajalu section to be extended up to Savarkandala Lilaya motor stations as suggested by DRM Bhavanagar. In reply, the Forest Department stated March 2022 that content of signatures had been provided to the Railway Administration. Training program was organized. Sites were identified for building machins and suitable methods were being identified for testing early warning systems on the sites. Further steps have been taken by the Railway Administration to limit the speed of the trains and stop running of trains during night hours. During the joint inspections conducted by Audit with the railway engineers, sufficient signatures, fencing and watchtowers were not provided at vulnerable locations. This implies that action towards safety of Asiatic lions was lacking on the part of the Railway Administration. Recommendations. 1. Indian Railways should take stringent efforts to complete the work for early elimination of level crossings to reduce the safety hazards. 2. Indian Railways should ensure that joint advisories issued by the Ministry of Environment and Forest and Ministry of Railway to be followed scrupulously to prevent animal deaths, which in turn will also help in preventing derailments on this account. Chapter 7. Conclusion and Recommendations. 7.1 Conclusion. Investigation of the factors responsible for derailments done by the Enquiry Committee is an important exercise which highlights the main factors responsible for the accidents.